Marcus Rashford has been Man United's wonder kid, starting from such a young age, getting in the academy at 11 years old, coming from a family of a single mother who had 5 kids. Rashford has been through the trenches, someone who would get his homework done quickly to make sure he could go out and play football. And what a start he had to his Man United career, coming through the academy, getting his first appearance at the age of 18 and shining in the Europa League, and then eventually making his debut in the Premier League. He's been Man United's golden boy for so long, and the career that he has had there has been exceptional. Helping out outside of football as well, with food banks, with the government, really trying to help out the poor. Marcus Rashford is a great role model to so many. Ultimately, he has had times at Man United where he has been judged harshly, and times where he hasn't been up to the standard that they expect of him. And that is why it has led him to the path that he has gone on at the moment, to search a new challenge and to seek somewhere else away from Old Trafford. A man who was destined to beat Rooney's record now finds himself on loan at Aston Villa. So Marcus Rashford definitely had a difficult upbringing in Manchester. His mom being a single mom, raising 5 kids, and Rashford though flying through the ranks of Manchester United at such a young age, coming into the academy at the age of 11. No matter what his family life was about, his football and his ability was absolutely unbelievable, and that is what he focused on throughout his younger years, doing his homework quickly and going straight to that football pitch, playing little 5-a-sides in the soccer dome. He was electric, and that is why Manchester United got him into the academy quickly. We all know the story, do we, of him, Jesse Lingard, etc., working their way up into the Man United academy. Something that, you know, Man United are genuinely very proud of. Obviously, you had, was it the, I've got to get the number right here, 96, 92, one of them, where you had Gary Neville, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, all the rest of them going up into the academy and becoming Man United legends. Marcus Rashford was on track to do that, and realistically I think he can be considered a really good player, because as we'll look at, he was very, very close. If he had stayed another 3-4 seasons, he could have potentially broken Rooney's record. Probably would have, if he would have been consistent. But working his way up, starting for Man United, making his debut at the age of 18 is incredible. Man United do have, you know, they're a club full of history, and I went to Old Trafford recently actually, and their history shone through. You know what I mean? I might take the piss out of United and I might hate them. Their stadium's fucking massive, and like when you get there, it does have some aura. And that, you know, it's similar to Anfield, but the size of Old Trafford is ridiculous, and I understand why. United might have a bit of a big head sometimes, but as for Rashford, came through the ranks, playing with the likes of Rooney, who obviously later he'd be chasing the record of top goal scorer for the club, and winning trophies with teams that may not have been as good as teams that Man United have previously had in the past. Obviously, he's had a rocky road in terms of the team's performance. You know, they've been fighting for the title occasionally when they had Jose Mourinho, likes of this. Rashford's form has dipped, the team's form has dipped. Obviously, playing for Man United, you get a lot of stick and you'll get a lot of expectation. Marcus Rashford at such a young age met that expectation, I think, especially in the Europa League when he was breaking through, and in the Prem. But ultimately, I think everyone, me included, like, you think because of how young Marcus Rashford started, you expect him to be this world-class player at the age of, say, when he was getting criticism, 24, 25. And you don't realise his actual age, because there's people who will break out at a later age, and because of how long he's played for Manchester United, you think he's like probably like 29, 28. He's only 27 still, isn't he? It's crazy. And I suppose, yeah, that is what he's created because of how well he has played at a young age. But ultimately, over recent time, he has not met that expectation, and that has been shown, as we'll look at. But for the most part, on his upbringing, winning trophies, playing under some amazing legends, Michael Carrick, Wayne Rooney, but not quite, let's say, have the team to show, to fully go for all these titles. You know, he's been in that era where he has been one of the star men, and that's why Man United put a lot of pressure on him, put a lot of expectation on him. But ultimately, I think his downfall has coincided with Man United's downfall. Yes, he probably hasn't done enough over recent time, and that is why Marcus Rashford now seeks a new challenge after Manchester United. His first one changing clubs in Aston Villa.
Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa, there we go.
Rashford for some had an amazing career at United, especially under certain managers, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He really did show that level of brilliant tenacity and skillfulness to really become a main man for Man United in a team that is not necessarily as good as Man United have had in the previous years. Playing with Rooney, playing with Michael Carrick, he has had certain leaders to gain experience from. But as we go later down the line in Marcus Rashford's Man United career, we see that he has had a lot of issues with inconsistency, form, injuries, and ultimately fans have been fed up with him. You know, there was a bid from PSG a few years ago. Man United fans were a bit split on whether to keep him or sell him, and as time has gone on, Rashford has had a lot of rumours about him not training as well, not giving it for the team, and not being a professional footballer realistically. The outside noise has really tainted his career at Man United, and now he looks for a new challenge. Searching far and wide, there was rumours of Barcelona, PSG. He ended up at a club that some might say the moment are doing a little bit better than Man United. That is Aston Villa. So Rashford's time at Manchester United has most likely come to an end, and he finds himself at a better and more history-filled stadium. I'm joking, alright? But he's at Villa Park, a very, very good stadium, you know what I mean? From Old Trafford to Villa Park, Man United fans will go, it's not as big as a club and all this bollocks. At the moment, I would say Villa are better than Man United in terms of their league position, in terms of competitions they're in. So yes, in terms of the stature and what Man United stand for, it is a step down. But for Rashford, I think it's a good move. And for Villa, we're happy to accommodate him and have him push their team up the rank, which at the moment him and Marcus Asensio are doing. Obviously for Man United, it did go a bit sour, you know. You had the fans be like, they was very divided, weren't they? And there's been times where Rashford has constantly been questioned on his performances over the last few seasons. Sometimes he'll perform well, then there's rumours that he's not training well, that he's doing this, doing that, and Man United, from what I've seen as an outside perspective, have been very divided on him. And I'd say more of the fans want to get rid of him and sell him. Obviously, there's Barcelona interested, but at the end, he came to Villa on the loan, and he's performed very well at the moment. Getting a few assists, you know, he's had a free kick race at the bar, and Watkins has scored it in. He's putting in performances that are helping the team. And the thing is, at Aston Villa, he will get the game time. He'll constantly play, because we have never really had like a big superstar of Marcus Rashford in the team. It's like me going back 4 years in career mode and adding in Marcus Rashford, adding Asensio, you know, 100 million on FIFA would have been. It's crazy telling a Villa fan that you'd have Rashford playing it for you a few seasons, and hopefully he can perform well. At the moment he is, and I think his career for Man United is exceptional, but like a lot of them, like you look at Lingard, you look at players that have came from the academy, they have ended up going left and going right and not really staying at United. You could partly put it down to them, but I also just think Man United as a club at the moment are in constant turmoil with the managers, with the team not performing well, with the directors. It's very hard to give a case of why to stay at Man United, and every player that goes there, majority of them, the only one I would look at who's been semi-successful there since Fergie left would be someone like Bruno Fernandes, who has came in for 50 million, actually proved to the fans that he's played well. And I know he's had mediocre games as well, but overall his performances are pretty solid. Whereas everyone else, you look at Sancho, you look at Varane, you look at who's that one, Ugarte. You know, there's teams or players that seem to just come in and instantly drop in form, in performance, and I don't know what that is with Man United. They are just a team I personally think you just need to avoid. They drew to Everton on the weekend. You know, they almost lost that. I'm not saying it's embarrassing for Man United and where they should be though. It's hard, and Rashford comes under that. Obviously, he hasn't been performing for them. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, and hopefully Marcus Rashford at Aston Villa are a match made in heaven. So far he has done well, but where can this career, this new change, lead him? What now for Marcus Rashford after Aston Villa? Will he stay? And will Villa activate that 40 million clause to buy him, or will he search for another challenge, maybe abroad at Barcelona, a bigger team like potentially PSG? Who knows where he could go? Is his time at Man United up? Will he try and give that another chance? At the moment, Man United look like they're in turmoil, and it seems like anyone that goes there is almost tarnished, and that has now affected their academy players in Marcus Rashford. Someone who was once their main man, who was gunning for Rooney's record, had brilliant times at Man United. Even he has had to search a new challenge. Is it the club of Man United, or is it the players, is it the staff? We will never know, and maybe soon we'll find out once they're relegated. But for Marcus Rashford, I believe his next challenge is outside of Old Trafford. Whether that's still in the Premier League or whether that's another club, it is to be decided. But at the moment, it looks like Marcus Rashford is enjoying his football once again, and he's finding joy playing the beautiful game. His redemption arc is only just beginning, but is this the start of a new Marcus Rashford? And now Rashford's loan will expire at the end of the season. Obviously, I'm a Villa fan, and Villa have a buy clause for him. A clause, not an obligation to buy, but an option to buy. And at the moment, the way he's started, he looks like he is back enjoying his football. He's got a new club. He ain't realistically got the massive Man United expectation. We want him to perform well, of course, but this is arguable. At the moment, Aston Villa are playing better than Man United, so realistically it's a step up. I know the history and all that, and all the Man United fans will be like, but this and that, and what Roy Keane says and all that, and you've got to go to Barcelona or whatever. But I think for Rashford, it's really good because you can help us as a team. And if we decide to buy him for 40 million, which I don't know whether it will go good or bad, because we had this with Coutinho, where Coutinho had an amazing loan season, and then we buy him and he does shit. Rashford at the moment has shown signs of his previous quality, and I think for Villa, obviously we've never had like big names such as Marcus Rashford come in for a very long time. We usually have, I'm not saying stinkers, but people who are at the end of their career, like a Joe Cole, like a Robert Pires. They come in, maybe they come in for a year deal, a loan deal. We've never had like a marquee signing, and I know Rashford's on loan. Yes, you could say Coutinho. In recent times, we have got bigger players come in. But if we sign Marcus Rashford, the whole brand of him, we've never really had like a superstar. Obviously, what he did for the food banks, the kids, the government, it's all great. And that stature of a person has never truly been at Villa Park. So maybe I'm not saying he's bigger than the club. No one's bigger than the club, mate. But he doesn't necessarily have like such a big thing to live up to. He can just keep grounded, play his football, and Aston Villa at the moment are letting him do that. He's had an electric start to the season for us so far. Man United fans, I wonder what they think, if, let's say Rashford does have a good season and we do buy him, will they be like a little bit heartbroken because he's one of their academy men that has played so well from a good time, and to see him finally go would be, I imagine, a bit upsetting. It's like us seeing Grealish go, back in the day. But hopefully he probably does it in a more nicer manner. I don't know where his future lands because it's up to Rashford realistically. Let's say he does amazing in the rest of his loan and a Barcelona came in, or maybe he for some reason wants to go back to United. That decision's down to him. I hope personally that he performs well, we buy him, and then he continues to perform well and doesn't drop off. But obviously there's been a lot of stories around him recently, around his training, around what he does outside of work. So he just needs to keep that mindset of getting back on track and proving everyone wrong. He's still 27. He's not even hit his prime yet, and he could get back into the England team and do all this stuff. He's a great player. So far, I think Villa have gave him a chance, and at the moment he's taking that chance to prove to the rest of the league and the rest of the world, realistically, that Marcus Rashford is not gone. Marcus Rashford is here to conquer and potentially help whatever club he may be at next season win trophies, go up the table, and do well in the Premier League. What is next for Marcus Rashford? I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be Manchester United. Whether it's Aston Villa or whether it's another club, I think his career from here could be incredible. A few stepping stones he might need to push on and jump up, and then Marcus Rashford could well and truly be back.